Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Modern, and this is the Eldrazi Trudge Ramp deck that did really well at the Modern Pro Tour that just happened. Just happened for me. Happened a few weeks ago for you by the time this video goes live. I normally hate decks like this, like the entire big colorless ramp strategy. Sowing Mycospawn is a card that I was extremely vocal in trying to get banned in Legacy. Kozilek's Command, I believe, is one of the worst design abominations of the past 5 years of Magic. However, all these things together, I think this deck is pretty dope. And part of the inspiration here was I was having a conversation with some people the other day, and I was like, Green Sun Zenith was a big part of that huge re-energizing Modern unban announcement alongside Mox Opal, Splinter Twin, and Faithless Looting. And then Green Sun Zenith just hasn't really done anything in the format. And a friend corrected me and was like, actually, it just was a core piece of one of the best performing decks at the Pro Tour. And I was like, well, I better take a look at that deck. And wowie zowie, this rules. Okay, Slumbering Trudge, kind of a silly goose card that you could draft if it was sent your way from Secrets of Strixhaven Limited. 1 mana 6/6. Enters with a number of stun counters on it equal to 3 minus X. If X is 2 or less, it enters tap. For 1 mana, you can get a 6/6 that is ready to battle 3 turns later. For 2 mana, 2 turns later. For 3 mana, it's a tapped 6/6 with 1 stun counter on it. For 4 mana, you just get a 6/6. However, all of that is mostly flavor text. We mostly want a 6/6 for 1, because Green Sun Zenith can grab it for X equals 1, and you get your tap 6/6. And from there, Fanatic of Rhonas, a 2 mana dork that taps for a green, or Ferocious. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, it taps for 4 green. Slumbering Trudge does that. And the other cool part of the deck, Fight Rigging. 2 and a green, Hideaway 5. When this enchantment enters, look at the top 5 cards of your library, exile one face down, put the rest on the bottom in a random order. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1 counter on target creature you control. Then, if you control a creature with power 7 or greater, you may cast the exile card without paying its mana cost. Slumbering Trudge is a 6/6. It doesn't need to be untapped. You play Fight Rigging, you put an Emrakul or an Ulamog under there, you move to combat, put 1 +1 counter on Slumbering Trudge, bang, Emrakul, Ulamog, it's go time. I guess Ugin's pretty good too. There's 8 giant hits in here, and then there's some other stuff that's fine. And then while all this stuff's going on, you're still just a Eldrazi Temple, Ugin's Labyrinth fueled Sowing Mycospawn, Ugin, Eldrazi, Tron adjacent deck, Mosswort Bridge, another hideaway enabler. You need a little help. Slumbering Trudge doesn't get there itself, but you get there pretty quick. Most of your creatures are big, and Trudge does a lot of the work to get you to 10 power. I think this deck is very cool, despite hating many things that are included in it. And I just want to try it out. Let's do it. This is the Eldrazi Trudge deck from the Modern Pro Tour. This year, September 18th through 20th, I'll be attending my 4th consecutive Commander Sealed event in Rochester, New York. This event is really awesome, incredible community, and the main event is one of the most brain-busting, limited sealed deck environments you could imagine, and the gameplay is incredible as well. There's a whole weekend full of events, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to do stuff, and most importantly, the entire event is there to benefit charity. I am personally chipping in my part to raise money for Trans Lifeline. Whether you're able to attend the main event or not, chipping in a few bucks to my donation link helps me out, helps the event out, keeps this thing crushing its mission year after year. I'll see you there if you can make it, and if you can't, thanks for the support. This donation link is in the video description. I am on the play in Game 1, and I have to take a second to take stock of this deck. I have 0 reps, I'm just making sense of what I have here. There is a Dryad Arbor in the deck, which means I can turn to Sowing Mycospawn with this hand. Yeah, I'll do that. That sounds pretty good. A Zenith for Dryad Arbor. It's in there. Pass the turn. A Watery Grave. A Fatal Push. Disappointing. I'll just have to play my other mana dork. A Fanatic of Rhonas is here now. If I draw a big payoff, one of the 7 drops in the deck, I can kick Sowing Mycospawn right now. Jesus. All right. Well, Ugin's Lab. Dump Emrakul. I am the baddies and I know it. Okay, I will exile your Watery Grave and search my deck for a land card while developing a 3/3. And it doesn't matter if you counter this because these are all triggered abilities. Man, I hate this card, but I am the bad guy. Sign me up. All right, how do I play this Emrakul? I could grab Mosswort Bridge here. The Disciple of Freyalise. When this enters, you may sack a creature. If you do, gain X, draw X, or X is that creature's power. I do not have triple green. Mosswort Bridge provides it, though. Do I want to cash out Sowing Mycospawn? I could just get an Eldrazi Temple. Mosswort Bridge seems the most fun to me, so that's what I'm going to do. Ugin, Kozilek's Command, Drowner of Truth. Ugin seems to be the best one to put under there. Kozilek's Command, you can't pay X when you cast a spell for free. Well, that's no good. And the Drowner is mostly just there to turn on Ugin's Labyrinth more often. That card is not actually very good. Ooh, a Namor the Submariner in this deck. What are we doing with that? Sowing Mycospawn is one of the Eldrazi that doesn't have reach from that set. Unfortunate for me. Ooh, we could rig a fight here. That turns on Fanatic. Right, Cavern and 1, 2, 3 fight rigging. I imagine this is going to get counterspelled, but I guess that's also fine because I just get to mush for 4. And then probably put Emrakul back in my hand and start working in that direction. This puts an enchantment in the graveyard for... Or no, it doesn't. Oh, Disrupting Shoal pitched. Force of Negation pitching Disrupting Shoal. Wild stuff going on from the opponent. Attack with my creatures. An island. Yeah, my opponent's definitely brewing a little bit over there. Namor's a weirdo. Disrupting Shoal in a main deck that's not Belcher is weird. I think I'm going to leave Emrakul under that land. She's not useful to me right now. I only have 8 mana. Or I could have 9. Yeah, I'm going to attack with Mycospawn and then see if I can resolve this Disciple. A second main. Cast Disciple of Freyalise. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5, 6, I guess. Okay, that resolves. Can I eat my Sowing Mycospawn? Yes, I can. I drew a bunch of stuff I can't cast, but next turn is going to be pretty exciting. If my opponent has anything like a Field of Ruin or a Ghost Quarter, they could delete this Emrakul forever right now, but that's not a super normal thing to have. Cracking a Clue, Fetch, Surveil, Break a Clue was that turn. I don't think this has reach either. Nope, just a 3/3. Tameo banked another thing. They're showing all manner of counterspell mana. Subtlety, Force Negation, Counterspell, whatever, etc. I'm going to play Fight Rigging first. So that can inform my other choices here. Archmage's Charm, counter target spell. Sure. And then the Trudge turns on Fanatic and goes straight to the moon. All right. Trudge. X is 0. Tap for 4. 5, 6. Another Mycospawn. Or I could Rumble into spawn. Yeah, Rumble first. Might as well get it in. Spell Snare. Got me. All right, I don't actually need to exile a land here. I just need to cast Ulamog next turn. I'll grab an Eldrazi Temple, and I'm ready to party. Attack for 3. Yeah, my opponent's also just at 6. Unless they have some sort of combo pivot or a main deck Harbinger of the Seas, which also doesn't beat me right now because Rhonas gets me where I need to go, even if the rest of the lands don't work. Drown on the Lock, my Trudge. Okay, good call. And Psychic Frog. And my opponent has drawn an extra card and or interacted on every turn of this game, and it's not even close. Ulamog is just going to Half these 2 things. Yeah, they're already conceding. They just see me tapping a bunch of mana. Like, yeah, whatever you got is good enough here. I've been the blue deck on the other side of this most of the time. Okay, I could go into the mid-range and have this Gargaroth, just another big Dumbo that I can cast with mana. Thought-Knot Seer could take a peek. I don't think I'm trying to Chalice them. Endurance, Dismember, Force of Vigor. I'm sure I don't want any of that. Gemstone Caverns. I am on the draw. There's a Caverns in the main and one in the board. Like, someone really figured out this deck. You can tell it's a Pro Tour list. Which is bad news for me, because I don't know how to do anything here. And my opponent has a interesting back and forth interactive deck, and not one where I can just, slam all the Trinispheres in and know exactly what I'm supposed to do. I think I can go slightly fewer Trudge. If the game is going to be slower, I mean, maybe the game doesn't have to be slower. Maybe I just put in Elder Gargroth over one of the Trudges and I'm good. I don't know that this matchup is specifically about speed either. Like, I have a Gemstone Cavern already. Do I want to against like Ruby Storm to really try to jump out? Is that for matchups where Trinisphere comes in to maximize your turn 1 Trinispheres? I think I need to do very little here. I'm going to mostly submit the same deck. Okay, this one doesn't ramp on 1. It is solid though. I'll hold on to it. I'm going to play Garden of Freyalise tapped and then rumble my way into a playable game plan after that, I hope. We've seen Spell Snare, Disrupting Shoal, and Force Negation in their deck, though. This Malevolent Rumble might not have much time in this world. There's Trudge right on time. Rumble. Okay. Eldrazi Temple versus Ugin's Lab here. I think Lab is better. I have a bunch of 7s I can dump under it, and that taps for anything. Yeah, I'll take Ugin's Lab. And this is Trudge plus Rigging next turn. Any land would have been, but I even have an extra mana to work with. Cycling Lorien revealed. They did not fetch Basic Swamp. I'm just thinking about things that could go wrong for me, like Harbinger of the Seas, Damping Sphere. Oh, they're an Esper deck? That was going on the whole time? Teferi, Time Raveler. All right, well, Fight Rigging doesn't work anymore. Hideaway, that's not how that works. Good card. And Emrakul costs 10 right now. I have 5. Still surprisingly close. All right, Ugin's Lab. I'm going to exile Emrakul, and I'm still going to play Fight Rigging. I know it doesn't work. I'll put... Do I want Ulamog under there, or do I want to find Ulamog later? Do I think I will remove Teferi? Ulamog is how I remove Teferi in my deck. Yeah, I'll just put Ulamog under there, whatever. Okay. Play the Trudge for 0. Fight Rigging. I'll put a counter on Spawn and start beating up Teferi. Cycling Lorien. Basic Island. Blessing Teferi again. Trudge down to 2 counters. Mosswort Bridge also doesn't work, but this is mana number 7 for Ugin. I'm a little not excited about making this spawn worth a removal spell, because I do want that mana for Ugin next turn, but it's still like, whatever. Okay. Putting the pressure on Teferi is worth it, I believe. I'm gonna go full blast. Kozilek's command here. Scry X, draw a card, make spawns. Consign, fair enough. Okay, pass the turn. Yeah, so Ugin cast trigger exiles Teferi next turn, and then Fight Rigging casts Ulamog, and we're done. And Consign to Memory could do what it needs to do there. Opponent cycled another Lorien revealed for another island. Yeah, Emrakul's down to 8, by the way. That clock is also ticking. Bouncing the Trudge. We must be intending to counter it on the way back down. Right, Namor the Submariner. Power equal to number of merfolk you control, which is 1. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell with 1 or more blue mana symbols, make that many merfolk. Okay, I see what you're up to now. I guess I saw all the pieces last game and just chose not to perceive them. I could just go full Ugin here and bet against Namor. Or I could set up this turn. Oh, Ugin's not an Eldrazi. I can't do this turn. Never mind. That's easy then. I'll set up this turn. All right, I'll cast Trudge. For X is 1. Oh, that turns on Spell Snare. That was probably worse than doing it for 0. Okay, we're back in. Mosswort Bridge. I'll put another Trudge under there. That's pretty mediocre. I am not allowed to play the card. And I'll pass my turn. Drown in the Loch. Namor makes 1 merfolk off of that. Kills my Trudge. Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm 1 short of Emrakul next turn, so I'll keep it under the bottle for now. The opponent would need a Consign to Memory here. Ugin, target Teferi. Okay, Teferi's gone, and Ugin's in. I'm going to gain 3 and draw a card. Another Ulamog, nice. Okay, do you have some Shoulder's Edict or something that clears Ugin, or are we just fully out of the box now? Oh, a fresh Teferi. Well, this one's much easier to answer than the last one. Could bounce this fight rigging, and Ulamog is just in exile forever. Attack Ugin for 4. Feels completely helpless. I know, I've been there. I feel you. Okay, I have trillions of mana here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Trying to see if I could Ulamog plus activate bridge. I'm a little short of doing 2 things this turn. I have 12 mana, and I have 13 mana worth of stuff I'd like to do. All right. I'll make 3 colorless, cast Ulamog. This will exile most of my opponent's permanents, I hope. Okay, Ugin, Eye of Storms. Right, Ulamog target Namor and Flooded Strand. Ugin target Teferi. I want to make sure Teferi's gone on a separate trigger in case Consign is here. And Consign could get all the things. Counterspell, you make 2 Merfolk on the way out. Exile most of your permanents. And I'll play Garden of Freyalise tapped. I could attack Ugin to 1 here, but I'm still cooking. Ugin's at 1. Elder Gargaroth, my clutch sideboard card, has arrived. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cast Drowner of Truth. All right, they're conceding. They're like, I needed you to have 0 spells here. Yeah, my opponent did what they wanted to do. Both games had a pretty cool curve out, pretty cool interaction, and it just didn't matter at all. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I am on the play in round 2. I have 4 mana on turn 2, but my hand is all green cards. I'm going to mulligan this. This one can Zenith to ramp, and then Rumble plus Mosswort Bridge on 2. I'll keep this, and I'm going to bottom Disciple of Freyalise, I think. Yeah, between the 2 spell lands, one of these turns on Ugin's Lab and the other doesn't. Shivan Reef and Shadow Spear. All right, some kind of artifact deck. Another Zenith. I think Rumbling is better than grabbing Trudge here. Okay, Lab or Disciple. I'm taking the Lab. That's now 6 mana next turn for kicking Mycospawn. Ulamog's a nice one to have under the bridge. Urza Saga. Weapons manufacturing. All right, how many weapons are we manufacturing here? 0 weapons. Okay. Ugin's Lab. Exile the Drowner of Truth, which I kept in the opening hand for exactly this moment. Sowing Mycospawn, Con Queso. Exile Urza Saga. Search for probably just Eldrazi Temple. Okay, pass the turn. I can Trudge. I can get Trudge to turn on Mosswort Bridge and cast Ulamog next turn. Second manufacturing. Okay, this might be why they didn't manufacture any weapons last turn. Nope. Okay. Still chilling. M. Rakul. A Zenith for 1. Get a Trudge. Activate Mosswort Bridge. Cast Ulamog. Exile the lands, I think, is the way to go. Okay, the lands are gone. Attack for 3. Okay, if they dump out like a million zeros and then engineered explosives and then 2 Mox Opals and blow all the explosives, I guess I could have still taken some amount of damage there. Does not seem super likely though. Okay, Force of Vigor, Gemstone Caverns. This does seem like a Trinisphere matchup for me. I'm on the draw, which means it doesn't feel like a Chalice matchup. Trinisphere also steps on all my hideaway. Ugin's a weird one because artifact decks are full of colorless cards. However, the weapons manufacturing and Kappa Cannoneer and stuff are colored. However, that might not matter. Yeah, those cards, I mean, Kappa, you still have to pay the ward, and the weapons manufacturing doesn't need to be in play for the things to still work, the munitions. But I can't board out too many of my top end payoffs. That is part of why we're here. I feel like I'm going to shave a Trudge most matchups. I have no idea if that's right. A Disciple, like I can replace that with Gemstone Caverns 1/1. That's still a land, but one of the lands has upside. But one of the lands has downside, which is it kept for colorless when it's not in my opening hand, and green has been an issue. Maybe the Trinisphere thing is just too much. If they dump out their opening hand on the play, it just doesn't matter that they did that. Okay, this is a turn 3 rigged fight. Or no, I have the land, Disciple. Okay, I'm going to keep this. It's turn 1 Trudge, turn 2 Kozilek's command for up to 1, turn 3 rigged fight trigger. Preordain. Love that. That's not Pinnacle Emissary. Top bottom. This is a Mox Opal deck. They might not be done yet. Tormod's Crypt. I don't care about that one, basically at all. I guess at some point I might. If the normal cast on Emrakul comes up, that could matter. I could have played Disciple there in case I want Boseiju as Boseiju. Like taking 3 just in case the game gets to a spot where I have 2 mana up and want to destroy something. Ooh, Synthesizer. I don't think that's stock in any of these builds. They hit Steam Vents. That's probably about as good as you could hope for. It's guaranteed card advantage. All right, they're playing slow and steady. All right, I could hold up Kozilek's command, or I could develop my second Trudge here. And I think I want to hold up Kozilek's command because if they have engineered explosives for 1 and take out both Trudges, then my whole plan falls apart. But I could command for 1 spawn in the end step and still have rigging plus Trudge next turn. But if they just wait on the engineered explosives, it doesn't matter. I'm going to Kozilek command in the end step because I'm not spending this mana any other way. They are showing possible Metallic Rebuke here. And if I can develop improving my hand and make a little bit of extra mana and maybe draw out interaction, I'm interested in all of those things happening. A Fanatic of Rhonas on top. That guy's pretty cool. Does it help me right now? It helps me beat Metallic Rebuke now and forever. All right, I will keep that. Upkeep. Disruptor Flute. Okay. Resolves. Fight rigging. Okay. They know how this works. Unlucky. Fanatic of Rhonas. This lets me play the fight rigging next turn. All the same. It's a shame fight rigging isn't an Eldrazi for the Temple. Could have been done with this game. I'm really hoping I don't get combo killed somehow, but also what combo deck would play Experimental Synthesizer? That's very strange. That card's very slow. Goblin Welder is not legal in this format. They banned Underworld Breach. There is a Sewer Valence Cannon combo that's possible with Emery in this format, but they're not really in the neighborhood of that happening right now. A Fiery Islet and a Kappa Cannoneer. Okay. They only have up Tormod's Crypt right now, which means it has to be... Alright, they're crypting my Kozilek's command. Why? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I still wasn't close to Emrakul there. But I did draw her, so maybe. Good job. Okay, 4, 5, 6. Light rigging. Let's see who's in there. Nothing good. I can kick a Myco spawn out of this. You do cast the spell. Alright. Shame that Emrakul wasn't 1 deeper, but we play on. Right, rig this fight. Cast with kicker. Exile the Urza Saga before that busts. I think I just want Eldrazi Temple here. Or Mosswort Bridge. Could set up something action for next turn. Right, what's Emrakul going to look like? Not good. I have no graveyard. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, not close. All right, I'm going to go Mosswort Bridge. Give me another bite at the apple here. Fanatic of Rhonas 2, Force of Vigors. Yeah, I don't think Fanatic is going to get me where I want to go, so I'll take the Force under there. Pretty modest, all things consider. And I don't think I want a Zenith for a Trudge here. Or no, yeah, I could. I think I'm just going to play Garden of Freyalise tapped. I know I'm pretty close to doing big stuff with the Freyalise, but I could Zenith for 1 if I need one. If I just decide I need to draw 8 and gain 8. I'm going to hope I don't die to this Kappa right now. Engineered explosives flipped. That one's pretty good. And I've already done the thing, so losing the Trudge now isn't that bad, but it is about to be awake. Yeah, Mosswort Bridge doesn't limit your ability to activate it. It limits your ability to use it. Like, I could pay a green, tap this, and then opponent kills Trudge, and then I don't get the actual payoff. Explosives for 1. Busting this immediately. That takes out their synths. They've already made a land drop, so all of that's going to waste. And if you have Mox Opal, but you still can't cast Thoughtcast here, you're a little short. All right, are we racing? We are. Cool. Okay, I'm at 13. And then I can... Oh, can I do multiple things now? I could just play Trudge, activate Mosswort Bridge, kill Kappa and Saga. Am I thinking too small? Emrakul is good for 12 here. I need 13, so I'm 1 short on that. So Kozilek's command puts 2 in the graveyard, but it doesn't net 1. I'd have to tap 2 to make 2. Yeah, that doesn't actually advance me. Yeah, I think I'll just take the pressure off here. What can X be on Trudge for me to still do what I need to do? Because I have to Trudge, activate Bridge. I could X equals 1 on that. Or X equals 2, because I can tap Fanatic to do everything. Right, yeah, I just want to wake this up a little faster, I guess. And then I'll float my 4. Oh, hold on. I don't. Yeah, I do need that. Okay, I do need that. All right, Force of Vigor. Hit Kappa and Saga. Pay the ward. We're both on the control builds of our very fast explosive decks right now. And gas up Sowing Mycospawn. Back for 4. Okay, I'm ready to Emrakul next turn. I've played multiple 2 and 3 for 1s this game. I'm in a spot where they haven't really set up any sort of blitz kill. Oh, wow, they're just drawing a card with Fire Islet. I think we're going to see a concession here. Unless there is some sort of combo pivot that I don't understand. Okay, bobbling me. Having a look. And tapping out. Okay, I mean, that was pretty interesting. The various pieces having to function on their fair sides, like the fight rigging and the Mosswort Bridge both went off, but they were both just like 2 and 3 for 1s and not actually like the combo, but it was still plenty. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round 3. My hand looks pretty nice. I got to develop Mosswort Bridge, one of my favorite lands that there is. Play a lot of that in EDH. And it being a 1-of in this deck that also is just the perfect turn 1 play makes me very happy. A Bridge finds a bunch of nothing, actually. 3 X-Spells and a land. All right, well, that's a terrible Bridge. I guess I'll put Trudge under there because it's the only one that actually even literally does anything, but what it does isn't good. Once I get to 10 power, I can play that tapped for 3 turns and turn on my fight rigging. Ooh, a Momo deck. Cool. Okay, I can turn on Ugin's Lab now. I think I like Fanatic more than I like Rumble here. Fanatic can go busto pretty quick. Arid Mesa, Guide of Souls, and Osla Pride. Okay. The Momo was a distraction all along, but my opponent is still doing some good stuff. Reach? Do you have Reach? Nope. Just assume all green cards have Reach until I'm told otherwise. All right, top deck Trudge for the win. Emrakul. It's not who I wanted. Okay, I'm going to play Ugin's Lab, because this is how I get the most mana this turn. And Rumble with this mana. Ulamog, Fight Rigging. I'm pretty far away from Ulamog. I'm going to take an extra Fight Rigging and just start rigging a fight. Hideaway. Emrakul. All right, we hit one of the bangers. That did send a Trudge to the bottom of the deck, though. And I'm going to put a counter on Spawn. Get some defense going. I might just get run over here. This might be a game where Emrakul is not even good enough if my opponent has enough cats by the time we get there. Starfield Shep, going nuts. Found Osla Pride, ephemerating that. This could find planes if they don't have the land yet, and then that plays the Osla Pride. Momo's going to be huge. Okay, they search for 2 prides. Already had the land ready to go. Yeah, this one might not be winnable, even if I do the thing. Okay, they're going to gas up their pride. I'll block the Guide of Souls. No reason to take that damage. And I need to find a Trudge or a Zenith, like, now, basically. The city is blessed. And the things are going nuts. Opponent's at 28. 8 energy. Big Trudge, big Trudge. Rumble. That could still be a Trudge. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Rumble. Found Disciple, Ugin's Lab. I don't think these cards help me. 8 energy. The guide only triggers once. So that's fine. I think I'll take Disciple. Yeah, that is a Zenith going away. 2 Zeniths gone, 2 Trudges gone. Not entirely where I want to be living my life. Second rigging. If I double rig next turn, if I'm still alive. Okay. There are 2 Emrakuls here. This is optional, so I could chain multiple spells together. All right. I'll put another Emrakul under there. Play Garden of Freyalise tapped. And I guess I'm going to rig the fight on my Fanatic. I could have had 4 power now if I had committed the first rig to that. I have not done the math. I might just be dead. Good chance of it. Ephemerating the Shepherd grows Momo, but it does take a 3 power flyer out of the turn. Grabbed another Osla Pride. Pride. Meticulous Archive. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm dead to the flying here. They figured out how to attack with everything. Bad news, team. Dead at -1. Okay, yeah, like all dressed up with nowhere to go there. 3 hideaways and no Trudge. That can happen. Chalice of the Void seems pretty good against this deck. Should I be boarding out this Gemstone Caverns when I'm on the play? Is that a hedge in the main, and then you go just dumpster mode out of the board? Dismember is all right. I don't really want to spend my time answering their stuff when I could be going to the moon. I have been shaving Trudges, and I think I'm going to keep doing it, even though that game was a situation where if I have Trudge, I'm doing way better. Is sewing Mycospawn really for matchups like this one? I'm not sure. Okay, I'm going to go 3 Chalice of the Voids and otherwise keep my deck in one piece. Okay, this is a Rumble and hope Trudge is their hand. I think that's okay. At least on the play. On the draw, this hand might be too slow. Right, I'm going to play the Garden tapped because my plan to go off on turn 3 involves double green, and I'd rather not take 3 damage if I don't have to in this matchup. Flooded Strand pass. Are they going to Spell Pierce me? That would be so icky. Still doing my thing. Rumble. Emrakul, Fight Rigging, Forest. I guess I'll take an Emrakul. None of this is what I was hoping for. That's also 3 of my Fight Rigging hits gone, because 2 of them are in my hand, one's in the graveyard. Another land. They're on the control build after being a full-ass energy deck game 1. I think I just want to rig a fight here. Yeah, that's fine. I got more where that came from, and it's not really what my hand's doing. 2 Meticulous Archives in this build. Dumped March of Otherworldly Light. Did they just become blue-eye control? What's going on? Shocked and Hallowed Fountain. 3 mana up. So that could be any kind of like Spell Queller or Spell Queller adjacent card. All right, I'm going to play the Drowner as a land, and I'm going to pass with Kozilek's command up. I'm not tapping mana into this Shocked and Hallowed Fountain. Starfield Shepherd, you got it. Tameo, interesting. Hallowed Fountain, Tameo. I'm going to let Shepherd warp out, and then I'll play Kozilek's command to dig 2, make 2. I don't think I care about Tameo. There's Trudge and Lab. Do I want both? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, well, I could just cast Ulamog here. That's pretty good. Okay, I'll go top. Labyrinth, exile Emrakul, and then it could have Consigned to Memory, but there's a trigger and a giant body here that are both going to be problems for them. I'm going to beat up the lands. I really don't think I care about Tamiyo. And the lands reduce their ability to fight over Trudge plus rigging next turn. White in response. Nope, it's blue. They tapped wrong. All right, consigning which part? The body. Okay. They deal with the 10/10, but I take away half of their mana production ability. And there's this Emrakul here under this Ugin's Labyrinth as well. Tamiyo makes a clue. Warping Quantum Riddler. Okay. They trying to set up an Ephemerate and turn the corner, or just trying to hit a land drop? Cool. All right, now they need Force of Negation. Okay. Trudge. With the second Trudge, now I'm even ahead of Subtlety. I'm going to leave the Ugin's Lab up so I can get Emrakul back. Okay. Ugin. Pretty good one. Start combat. I would like to cast Ugin, please. I'll exile Tamiyo. Second main. I'll draw a card. Another Ugin's Lab. Yeah, I'll just play that. No trigger. Okay, 5 cards in hand. We know at least 4 of them are spells because they missed their land drop. Can any of these spells stop Emrakul plus Ugin? Another Quantum Riddler. Just a desperate cycle off. Found the land, though. Are they going to Ephemerate? That's not going to help, but you're welcome to it. Yep. That Blue-White Momo is what I played at Pro Tour Vegas in Standard, so it's pretty cool to see it. Basically the same deck with modern upgrades. I would like Emrakul back in my hand. Eldrazi Temple was a good draw. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Didn't need it, but I do have it. And Ugin also makes mana. Okay, I'll take your next turn. I'll exile Quantum Riddler. Okay, they don't want to play anymore. I wouldn't either. Now I'm on the draw, where Gemstone Cavern is more useful. And they are some kind of tempo deck. If I add 2 Gemstone Caverns to this deck, what do I lose? I don't want to give up on my entire mid-range, but I do kind of see Sowing Mycospawn as the weird mid-ground here where it's not set up and it's not payoff, and my opponent can play on 1 or 2 mana. I do still believe in Chalice. Do I cut a different land if I'm bringing in 2 caverns? Maybe I just bring in 1 cavern, and it's fine. I feel like Elder Gargaroth would also clown this deck we're playing against. I'll keep. But when in doubt, I lean towards sideboarding less rather than more, if I'm not sure. Okay, Ocelot Pride's a great start. I can Kozilek's command it on turn 2. I'll just play Forest for now. Pride's coming in. Ooh. They went all in on turn 1 Ocelot Pride? What is that? That land doesn't even cast Consign to Memory. All right, I'm going to go in their upkeep to play around Force of Negation. And they could Ephemerate this to protect it, but that does at least break it for the turn. Do I want a mana or a scry? I think I want the scry. Exile target creature, scry X. If they're spending an Ephemerate on this after missing a land drop, alright, they didn't do it. Eldrazi Temple, yeah, that's the direction I'm headed in. I'll take it. Oh, having played the standard version of this deck, you do sometimes have to keep these 1-landers with insane upside. Like, they probably... Okay. I'm sure they're bummed to see that Meticulous Archive and not Hallowed Fountain. Momo. I have to assume their next turn is going to be really broken, or else why would they keep the hand and play this way? Fanatic. Cool. Okay, I'm going to Rumble, Fight Rigging, and Ugin. Am I going to be in Ugin's neighborhood next turn? I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I am going to be in Ugin's neighborhood next turn. I'll take Ugin. And I don't think I'm going to be Besajuing as Beseju, so I'll play it as a land. They see the Ugin, they know any land drop gets me into Ugin. Starfield Shepherd. I can find their next land if they're still looking for that. But they did just dump a land off of that Surveil, so... Okay, did they draw 2 lands in a row, or was that turn 2 actually a misclick and they had the land all along? Hard to know. Ephemerate, okay. You're getting the pieces together. So am I, though. Ocelot Pride is here. Momo gets in for 3. All right, what do we got, deck? Zenith, okay. Zenith can get Trudge, so Zenith is a ritual here off of Rhonas. I will do it. Grab Trudge. Now you're good for 4. I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana now to play with. 9 for Ulamog. Hold on. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it was 9. Okay. My brain got excited and thought it could do more than it could for a second there. Okay, Eldrazi Temple. 1, 5, 6, 7. Ugin. I think it's Guide of Souls that I want gone here. That one is the life gain engine. That's the damage output. And I'll gain 3 life, draw a card. All right. Ugin's on 9. Opponent's got some mediocre beats over there. Ulamog is looming. If they ephemerate Starfield Shepherd, that's an attack for 3 they lose out on. I don't know everything that Shepherd can get in the modern card pool. There were some cool tricks with it in standard, but in like Haywire Might, you don't have the colors, and it's not good. I don't know. I don't think there's a Pithing Needle that's a creature for 1 mana, because that would just be Pithing Needle. Right, they got Guide of Souls was the answer. Well, they are still trying to Oscillate Pride and go wide here and beat what I'm doing, which I respect. It could happen. Meticulous Archive. Okay, so they've either drawn a land literally every turn of this game, or it was a misclick on turn 2. Both are possible. Okay, Ugin's getting attacked. This Eldrazi spawn is not a 1/2. It's the size it was born. Oscillate Pride with the City's Blessing. Okay. I'm just going to cast Ulamog, try to exile a bunch of permanents, and see what happens. Okay, so the Ulamog trigger will target Oscillate Pride and Starfield Shepherd, and the Ugin trigger will target Guide of Souls. They can only counter one of these 3 things if they have a consign. Okay, everything got exiled and Ugin resolved. Or Ulamog, this guy. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm not at Emrakul here, so I'll just gain life. Another Ulamog. That'll be good next turn. Okay, hope I'm not dead, but I feel pretty good. Solitude pitching Momo. An Ephemerate here could stabilize the board pretty well. Right, they didn't have the Ephemerate. Starfield Shep. We're just going to keep getting Oscillate Pride. Guide of Souls this time. 1 card still in hand. What's in the warp zone? Is there anything actually warped? No, these are all proper exiled. And I'm going to grab my Emrakul here. Ugin goes to 1 if I don't block. That's fine. 1 is the same as like most other numbers for Ugin. Until you get to 11, it doesn't really matter. I would like this Emrakul back. And we're off. Another Trudge. I don't think I care about that. Okay, Cavern on, I guess, Eldrazi. Emrakul costs 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so Ugin will exile Momo. That can fly. And Emrakul takes your next turn. I've got 8 mana left here if I use Ugin 4 mana. I'll gain life and draw a card. I've got this bonus turn coming. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Slumbering Trudge, as Garfield intended. Just eat up this battlefield. Okay, the Trudge was too much. Everything else was fine. This untapped Trudge, that's the tap out moment. This deck continues to be very cool. The BoshNRoll channel is sponsored by Ultimate Guard. I travel all over the world playing Magic with very expensive cards. I trust Ultimate Guard products to protect the tools of my trade wherever I go. Whether you like magic art, licensed art from other worlds, entirely original art, or the simplicity of plain colors, their products have incredible range to match anyone's style. Protect your cards how I do, stay up to date with all the new releases at ultimateguard.com, and stop by the Ultimate Guard section of your local game store. I'm on the draw for round 4 with a hand that doesn't have green. I'll maul it. I'll keep this one. I'm going to bottom Emrakul. And this plays the tap land on 1, Rhonas on 2, Zenith for Trudge. Suddenly have a gajillion mana on 3. We just against trusty old Boros energy. Oh yeah, there's Ravioli. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to the plan here. I could Zenith for Dryad Arbor as a blocker, but I don't want that, and that's not a good use of my Zenith. And that dies to everything, and I wouldn't want to trade it for Ragavan anyway. A lot of reasons not to do that, are what I'm saying. Here comes Ragavan. Most of the cards in my deck are not appealing to my opponent, but I don't like that they're ramping. Exiled Cavern of Souls. Fetched basic planes. Are we still in the time world where this deck main deck's Blood Moon? Doesn't look like it. Oh, but they are living the dream. Dryad Arbor. A card you literally never want to draw in any deck that plays it. All right, I'll play Fanatic. If they can remove Fanatic, I'm pretty cooked. If not, I have a pretty nice blocker and a plan to move forward. A Johnny. It's a powerful card. I think Ocelot Pride and Cat Token are going to attack, and Ocelot Pride will take to the skies. Or, okay, keep the pressure up with Ragavan is reasonable. I can't block the Cat Token here, then I lose everything. Yeah, keeping the treasures flowing rather than the life points flowing. Yeah, that probably matters more. Good call. Exiled Slumbering Trudge. You want that? Go ahead, play it out. What could go wrong? That would have saved me a mana, but I do need a lab or temple for my hand to start unlocking a little bit. Like if I get a huge Kozilek's command this turn, that sets up Ulamog for the turn after, maybe there's still game to play. If my opponent just plays Goblin Bombardment right now, it doesn't matter. But they could have done that pre-combat and blown up Fanatic and attack for a lot more, so I don't think that card's coming. Voice of Victory. Okay, so I am almost entirely dead next turn. Is there any way out of this? I did draw Ugin's Lab. The plan to go nuts with Kozilek's command is going to have to take a different form here. Okay, Zenith for a Trudge. Ugin's Labyrinth. Oh, I have to exile Ulamog. That's going to be so hard to come back from. Yeah, Voice of Victory in particular makes this even harder. Oh, I can go for 4 here, which would be like exile a Johnny, make 4 blockers. Right, I'll make spawns. A Johnny is the one I'm most worried about here. I could go again. Hold on. So 4, 8, 9, 10. I could cast Ulamog next turn still, but I can't block with any of these if I do. Oh, I think I should have done Voice of Victory first, and then I have Kozilek's command up. I messed up. All right. Yeah, I didn't think about casting both of them. I'm not a normal Kozilek's command gamer, so the like chaining them together is a gap in my skill set here. All right, yeah, I messed that up. This could have been a lot better. All right, target player scries X draws a card. Exile to. Am I dead? So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right, yeah, I'm just dead. All right, I messed that one up. I might have been able to navigate that combat a bit better. If it's like exile Voice of Victory and then block with 4, exile an unblock thing, replace all the guys. Yeah, okay. I see it. I see it. Okay, Cavern. Ugin might be slow and mediocre here. I do feel like, or no, I have the Sowing Myco spawns. I like being able to combo off, and I'm making room for chalices. Having Dismember to take a little bit of pressure off would make some sense. I just don't want to cut any more cards. 0 lands at all. Mulligan. Right, I think I keep this and bottom a forest. Forest pass. This is a turn 3 kicked Myco spawn, if that's even good. Ocelot Pride. Ugin's Lab. Rumble. Fight Rigging, Fanatic of Rhonas. I think I want Fight Rigging. Yeah, I'm trying to combo off here. So having the combo piece, or a combo piece, and trying to rip the second one makes sense. I could block sack, and then they don't gain life here, but I want the 6 mana to Sowing Myco spawn next turn. You can have an extra cat, it's fine. Guide of Souls. Okay. Extra cat and an energy. Fanatic. There's a Fanatic in my graveyard as well, which can eternalize. I don't think that's better than Myco spawn. All right. Kick this. Exile your only land. They did miss a land drop. Hope this is good enough. And 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. I think I want Mosswort Bridge. That's another combo route, and it's another green, both of which I'm interested in. I don't want Trudge under here because Trudge is a card that's good in my deck. I guess I'll put an extra rigging under there so I can combo when I combo. Yo, dog. Okay. No land, no attack, pass the turn. That's what I want out of you right now. Let's go. Is Strip Mine too good for Modern? Nobody knows. Okay. Well, we're popping. Fight rigging. Ulamog. Give me that. Ulamog. Ugin's Lab, no imprint. Zenith for 1. Bustin'. Okay. The corner is turned. I can't imagine an opponent could ever win this game. Let's do it. Okay, they've had enough. 7 spells in hand. I don't think they're going to come out fast enough. Hey, now I'm on the draw. Gemstone Cavern. I mean, that Sowing Myco spawn was pretty nice. Is that better than one of the Ugins? Ugin just could show up and not do anything in this matchup is the problem. And having a 3/3 to challenge combat makes sense, even if my opponent doesn't keep a 1-lander. I want my top end. I want my combo. How do I get this Gemstone Cavern in? I'm looking at Drowner of Truth, which makes Ugin's Lab a little worse, but that card does stink. It is land for land also on the backside. I could cut a Trudge, which I've been doing a lot. It feels weird to both want to combo and to shave a Trudge, but I do have 7 of those, and you only need 1. No lands at all. Or no, I do have Disciple. Is that enough to keep the hand off of? Disciple can get Dryad Arbor, which can play Fanatic. I'm actually going to try this. If I draw any land that's not Dryad Arbor, I'm fine. And if Dryad Arbor doesn't immediately die to a Galvanic Discharge, I'm fine. This one's on the dicier side, but I think it's in the range. Having the whole combo lined up is a lot to like. All right, opponent mulled to 5 and has Guide of Souls. I like a mull to 5. I don't love Emrakul, but it's fine. Zenith for Dryad Arbor. Pass. Obviously not interacting with this in combat. Arid Mesa. What do we got? Guide of Souls and Osla Pride. Okay. A very good open. Finding a land would be great here. Kozilek's Command, that hurts quite a bit. I'm going to Rumble and try to find my land. Or is Rhonas better? Well, if Rumble finds a forest, I get it all. All right, I'm going to swing for the fences. I did find a forest. I also found an Ugin's Lab, but that go... Oh, I could go for 1. Exile Emrakul. I have the spawn. Exile Osla Pride. Take a little bit of time to set up. Is that? Yeah, I think getting just mauled here is one of the ways I lose. All right. Sorry, Fanatic of Rhonas. It's not your day. Okay, pass the turn. Johnny. Okay. Yeah, Johnny happens. This is when a cat dies. I plan on exiling cats, not killing them. 9 energy, just like that. I'll see where these things go, I guess is also part of it. Guide of Souls trigger. Targets Osla Pride. That's actually perfect, because that's the card I want to kill anyway. And another trigger. You want to pile on all the way? I'll give them the chance to mess this up. All right, they did diversify. I'm gonna block Guide of Souls, and then before damage, exile Osla Pride. Exile target creature, and I think I have everything I want here. I just need mana to do it. I make a spawn, exile Pride. I get to rig a fight this turn. Let's hope I hit a banger. A fight rigging. Cast it. Come on, big one. Big one. Big one. Emrakul counts. All right. Emrakul, that's a big one. Trudge. Start the fight. I'll take your next turn. Okay, pass. And now I get to figure out how this works on Magic Online. This is fun. Okay. You've got an Obsidian Charmaw and an Arena of Glory. Costs 1 less for each land your opponent controlled that could produce colorless. So can't quite cast that here. It costs too much. I can exert your Arena. And a Johnny is a May. You may exile a Johnny. Okay. Attack with a Johnny and put the stats on him, I think is what I'm supposed to do here. Pay the energy. There's no energy to pay. Move to blocks. Block a Johnny. That's gone. All right, now you got to get through my 13/13 on the turn you're in charge of. Your hand is Obsidian Charmaw. Go. Opponent is in combat, and they're out of combat. Galvanic Discharge, my Dryad Arbor, sure. I'm glad that card didn't show up on any earlier turn than now. I gotta be honest. It would have been a lot worse. All right, I get to rig another fight this turn. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Light rigging. There's an Ulamog under there. I'm going to eat all my opponent's lands, and then the game should be over. I'm going to stack onto Emrakul. 14, 14, 15, 15, plus Ulamog. Exile your lands. Attack for 15, flying trample. And I will play the Drowned Jungle as my land. Pass the turn. Opponent could attack me for 6 here if they draw a 1-drop, but that doesn't kill me, and they're dead on the backswing. Nice. Okay. I mean, opponent flooded it out, and I was able to claw back twice. The run continues.
The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables. In this YouTube series, hosts Patrick Sullivan and Patrick Chapin go set by set through Magic's past, leveraging their decades of experience as Pro Tour players and game designers to analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a deep dive into the facts, mechanics, cycles, trivia, decks of the time, and historical context of the set. The hosts dig into notable cards of the era and their lasting impact today. Each set gets an award show where the hosts pick their favorite cards for categories such as Best, Worst, and Weirdest. And finally, give a letter grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables.
I'm on the draw in the final trophy round. My hand contains Gemstone Caverns. This is turn 1 Rhonas. And then we figure it out from there. Yeah, I'll keep. I think I'm going to pitch Dryad Arbor to Gemstone Caverns. That's not really a land. And I never want to spend my land drop playing it. Caverns comes in. Exile Dryad Arbor to it. Luck. I'm so lucky. Oh, it would have tapped for green anyway? Wow. Brutal. Maybe I'm less lucky than I think. Oh, well, all right, I'm pretty lucky. I'm going to shock this in and play Fanatic, as I just drew Trudge, which means I can go bonkers next turn. It looks like I'm against Brood Scale, so I might get comboed out before I get to do anything. Fleshraker, Kozilek's Command, Emrakul, Forest. All options here. This is the other mono-green Kozilek's Command deck that did great at the Pro Tour. They took the Emrakul. That's scary. That's where you're headed? Okay, we've got 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. That Emrakul's pretty far away. All right, I would love to draw a colorless source right now. Oh my god. That might be better. All right, Trudge. 4. Rigging. Oh no, I missed. That sucks. This was the big swing. I could draw 6 cards, or 7 cards, and try to make a run out of it next turn. I could play this 7/6 with no abilities. I guess I want Disciple. Bummer, dude. Okay. Malevolent Rumble. Emrakul the Promised End. Can go to the graveyard. I'll put Eldrazi Temple in my hand. And I will rig this fight and draw 7 cards. That could have been a lot more enjoyable. My opponent's got a Sowing Mycospawn over there, which means I'm not inclined to play out one of my good lands. I guess I want to play another Fanatic here. And then I have to discard a hand size. I'll clean up one of my 3 Sowing Mycospawns. That's probably too many of those. And I can fight rig onto Disciple and turn on my Fanatics for second main next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, there's a Fleshraker. We know the hand is Emrakul, Mycospawn, 1 unknown. 1, 2, 3, 4. They can't kick the Mycospawn. They could have started the turn that way and didn't. They're working towards bigger fish, it seems. Yeah, I actually could have cast all 3 of these Sowing Mycospawns next turn. Maybe I was supposed to put Zenith, discard Zenith, and just exile all of my opponent's lands. Command. All right, they're taking one of my Rhonases. Okay, I'm back down to the correct number of Mycospawns that I could cast next turn, I guess. Ping, ping. All right, that was exile, make 2. So I know their whole hand. Ulamog. 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. I'm 1 short on that guy. At beginning of combat, Disciple, attack, Eldrazi Temple, and now I have to... These lands come in untapped because this card's heinous. Or am I short? I might still be short. I've got 3 cards types in my graveyard. If I had played Eldrazi Temple last turn instead of Forest, I could Ulamog or Emrakul here, but I didn't want them spawning it, but then they did something else instead. And I wish my opponent had a counter. Like, mine just says 3 card types, nice and clean there. My opponent's graveyard doesn't give me the same. We've got instant, kindred, sorcery, creature. So 4. This costs 9. Oh, and land. 5. This costs 8. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I could get Emrakul next turn anyway. I don't have a Bajuka Bog. That would be weirdly effective. Okay, 1, 2, 6. Kick Myco Spawn. I can take out at least one of these Eldrazi Temples from my opponent. Delete one of those. Grab... Yeah, it's still just Eldrazi Temple. Right, I'll take Eldrazi Temple. Exile one of yours. Opponent's got 7 mana right now with an 8-cost Emrakul. If they draw 1 mana, I still get Emrakuled. How do I mitigate Emrakul not being the worst for me? And they can Ulamog exile my own permanents. And then on my turn, I Emrakul them back, and the game gets sloppy. All right. An unkicked Myco Spawn. Maybe because I only get 1 land drop a turn, and I had 2 lands that tap for 2, I should have just played out the last one and swung for the fences on it. Okay, I'll grab another Temple, and I'll play Fanatic. So now my game is just try to have enough mana that even if I get spawned, I can still do a big thing from my hand. Okay, Ancient Stirrings. If this goes +1 mana, if it finds a temple, found a grove. Okay, that's neutral. So I think they're 1 short on Emrakul here, if I've counted correctly, which there's a good chance I haven't. Okay, this is fine. I can handle Myco Spawn. I've got plenty of mana to take over. Okay, multiple Zeniths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. Yeah, I think if I exile all their temples with Ulamog, that plays just fine. Okay, fight rigging onto sowing Myco Spawn. Attack with my creatures that are here for the beats. Took a trade. Went down to 8. 2, 4, 8, 9, 10. Ulamog. Exile the Eldrazi temples. And do I want to fire a Zenith here? Probably do. What else am I doing? Just get another Fanatic. Or the final Fanatic, as the case may be. And I'll play Lab. And I don't want to put Emrakul under that. Or do. Doesn't matter. I can just get it back if I decide I want it. But if my opponent somehow gets their own Emrakul going right now, that's another step for them to get it. I don't know. There's still plenty of mana to cast Emrakul. I don't think that matters. Okay, cool. I played around something my opponent didn't end up even doing, which ended up giving them a turn to maybe do something, but then they didn't do anything, and I managed to take it away. We love an Eldrazi Mirror. Okay, we saw a Fleshraker. I didn't see a Brood Scale or a Sword or an Urza Saga, and we saw a lot of cards that game, but this does look like Brood Scale to me. The Springleaf Drum, pretty suspicious. The Fleshraker. Okay, as usual, I want my combo. Ugin seems actively poor here. And I'll just bring in 3 Force of Vigors and cut the regular 1 Trudge. This might be a matchup for Dismember. They are a combo deck that needs 2 different specific creatures in play to go nuts. Yeah, that's worth it. I'm not trying to Endurance them just to slow down their Emrakul. I'm trying to Stone Rain them to slow down their Emrakul. And maybe I'll cut Cavern. Or no, I'm on the draw. I won. That's how that works. Cut a Drowner. But turning on Lab is pretty important. Myco Spawn feels really important here. Uh-oh, everything feels really important. All right, I'll cut a Drowner. Mostly because I just don't know what else to do. And I'm pretty sure I do want the cards I'm bringing in. Okay, I can keep this. Vexing Bauble. That does beat Fight Rigging and Force of Vigor. And it's a good thing it beats Fight Rigging, because boy do I have it. It doesn't beat Emrakul. Or I still get Eldrazi triggers out of Fight Rigging. Yeah, this might not be too bad. Rumble, 2 Emrakuls, Beseju. Alright, yeah, if I have an Emrakul here, I'm going to send it into the Bauble. I'll do the same with the Ulamog. Opponent took an Emrakul. Right, well, there's one less banger. Exile Drowner. I will try to rig the fight. Not good ones, unfortunately. What are the words on this? You may play the exile card. Okay, so putting a land under here does develop. All right, yeah, I'm going to put Mosswort Bridge under there, which is not very sexy. And it is still beholden to my land drop count for the turn. But that's a way to at least do something with the card. Eldrazi Temple. Is there a Brood Scale coming my way here? Because the sword can come out of the Urza Saga next turn. Soulless Jailer. Can't cast non-creature spells from graveyards or exile. Okay. Well, they got a lot of hate for me here. All that hate dies to a single Force of Negation, or Force of Vigor, though. Dismember's nice. Yeah, I guess I'll cast Malevolent Rumble. I like Fanatic. Force of Vigor going is sad. No, I like Eldrazi Temple. I'll just go straight to the moon here. And I guess I'll just ignore the Fight Rigging, because I'm trying to play bigger lands and go harder. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. I'm a ways away here. Trudge wakes up turn after next, though. 7, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're 3 away from Emrakul. Uh-oh, that hurts. That hurts a lot. Yeah, they're in their mid-range, and I am trying to reach my top end, but not able to. Right now they're 1 away from Emrakul. Okay, Blade of the Bloodchief confirmed. Is in the deck. Permanent cards in graveyards can't enter the battlefield. Okay, that doesn't affect Grandson Zenith. This exiles this card and creates a token copy of it that is different than the other thing. Okay, I am going to play my bridge this turn. Mosswort Bridge. If this finds an Ulamog, okay, this works. I'll grab Ulamog and make a plan for next turn. I could Zenith for another Trudge here. All right, yeah, I want to make sure I have 10 power next turn. I grab Trudge and hope they don't go +1 mana somehow. All right, miss, miss, miss. Don't do anything good. They drew Eldrazi Temple. Sad. Okay, so I have to dismember Soulless Jailer before they dismember one of my creatures. Okay, that happens. Though, do I want them casting Ulamog? I could leave Soulless Jailer in play. And then, yeah, unfortunately, I think it is right to kill Sowing Mycospawn here. Oh, the Trudge wakes up right now, just in time to attack the Emrakul. I wish it was stunned for another turn. This sucks. Okay. Yeah, so... Oh, they can cast. This is non-creatures. All right. I don't know what I'm talking about. So it was probably... The Soulless Jailer just doesn't matter, is the actual answer. Yeah, so they can Ulamog, kill all my own stuff. Garden, shock it. Yeah, maybe they won't see it, or won't think it works. I don't know. I'm just going to hope they mess up somehow. But I won't even have 10 power next turn anyway. All right, they figured it out. GG. Okay, so Sowing Mycospawn, they were on the play for 1, and then Sowing Mycospawn jumped them forward a turn. All good to know. Now I'm on the play, where Gemstone Cavern can leave, and I can get a Trudge back in. They seem really interested in Emrakul. Like, they have taken Emrakul off of a turn to Malevolent Rumble twice. Like, I could put an Endurance in here over my 4th Trudge, but I still think just executing on my combo is my best play. And Thought-Knot Seer has some value here, but I'm just trying to do my thing. Okay. It's a lot of mana. It's bridge. I'll keep this. Yeah, I'll set up the bridge. I'll start there. Fight rigging under bridge, I guess. Pretty underwhelming. But it could set up a second wave. Forest. Haywire Might. Okay. I'm gonna Fanatic, because that gets crazy next turn. And Hideaway does ignore timing restrictions. If I have 10 power, I can cast Fight Rigging in my opponent's end step or like some time where they're tapped out of Haywire Might if they don't expect that coming. Eldrazi Temple, Soulless Jailer. Does that interact with my deck at all? I guess I can't cast Fight Rigging now. Sure. That does interact with my deck at all. I'm going to leave mana up and try to high roll rather than pay more for Trudge. So I could have just played it as straight up Trudge right there. Ugin's Lab. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, I'll take the Lab. And I'll play the Lab because I've learned how to chase the high roll. Okay, pass the turn. I have Emrakul next turn if I'm not disrupted here. Rumble. 3 lands and another Rumble. We'll probably see Urza Saga go to the hand here. They already made their land drop before doing that. That's good for me. And they tapped out a green, which means Haywire Might is off right now. But Mosswort Bridge is not on, and I don't have green mana anyway. All right, that's fine. Okay. Ooh. Did you just Emrakul early and often, or is Sowing Myco Spawn setting up other stuff? And if they have the Broodscale combo, I want to know about it. Exile target non-creature artifact. All right, so I can exile their own Blade of the Blood Chief. Sick. This costs 10. I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exactly. We did it. All right, the Emrakul race this time favors me. I would like to own your next turn, please. Pass. Okay, Broodscale is there. Oh, they took Grove? Interesting. All right, so how do I ruin them the hardest? I've got good plays here. Lots of options. Can I... Okay, so if I play Broodscale, I've got 4 mana left. If I have a green left, so... All right, I'll make your land drop. And then if I go 1, 2... I'm trying to figure out if I can play Broodscale, exile Broodscale with Kozilek's command, and exile Blood Chief with Haywire Might. And I think I can. I might be short on green to do that. All right, so it's green, 1, 2. That plays Broodscale with a colorless floating. It's 1, 2, 1, 2. I can exile it, make 2 spawns. That's not where I want to be. Yeah, I think I'm 1 short of doing that. All right, I'll just make a bad decision for Malevolent Rumble, I guess. Okay, Malevolent Rumble. You're going to keep Springleaf Drum. Or Yavimaya is probably worse, right? Yeah, Yavimaya is probably worse. You can keep Yavimaya. And then Kozilek's command. Haywire Might. Activate. Each opponent gains 1 life. Exile Blade of the Blood Chief. That's done. Kozilek's command. I don't want you to draw a card, so let's exile your own graveyard. Or, okay, you can make 0 spawns and exile Soulless Jailer, sure. Okay, exile Soulless Jailer, exile X cards from graveyards. Soulless Jailer and Haywire Might is 2 card types. Urza Saga's 2 card types, but it's not unique card types. Land, there's 2 lands that are also enchantments. Okay, yeah, I'm going to take the 2 lands that are also enchantments. Okay. I caused some problems there. You can have a turn now. They do have a way to dig a lot of mana in half the combo. These Stirrings. They found Blade, so A and B of the combo are both present. They can't set it off here, and even with infinite mana, they need a payoff. Yeah, they're 1 short of doing it. And I get to rig a fight this turn. There's Blade. You can equip Blade, but you're 1 short of activating to start the chain. Okay. We are still not entirely clear of being comboed out right now. Okay. I would like to rig a fight and hope there's just Ulamog or something in here. Another Emrakul. Okay. We'll run it back. Oh, disappointing. I have to kill my first Emrakul to do this. And I don't get the attack through. Oh, but the Broodscale just dies in combat and it's fine. Okay. Rig onto Trudge. I will cast the Emrakul. Or I can Legend Rule and keep the first one. So I do get to attack. And I still get to take the turn. Oh shit, I've created an infinite loop. Can they do anything with infinite mana right now? I guess is a question. Yeah, they can make this thing infinitely large now. I guess that was unavoidable. Okay. Attack for 13. I do have to close this game out. Okay, go ahead, do your thing. This doesn't have reach, I hope. Yeah, they can make an infinitely large creature here and infinite colorless mana. I have protection from instants, so Kozilek's Command doesn't kill me. I mean, if the card in their hand is Kozilek's Command, that is as good as it could ever be for them. They could take out my Fanatic mid-combat and tune their deck. Like, if they have Kozilek's Command right now, they could stack their deck, basically. It's scry X, where X is your deck. Put a card that doesn't matter on top, so I can't abuse it, and then draw the good card after that. And they appear to be committed to doing this. They must actually have a spell. Oh, that's such a beat. I guess I could have used their Ancient Stirrings on the turn I took from them. Or maybe exiling the Blade wasn't as important as dealing with the Brood Scale, though they're both equal. I mean, Brood Scale costs more mana to get going than Blade does. Okay, you have 32 mana floating. Is looking at 30 cards enough for you to set up your deck here? This is also why Kozilek's Command's an abomination. I know that I'm also playing the card, but it is an abomination. Yeah, they do have it. So the draw step was Kozilek's Command. The Stirrings found Blade, and they're just off here. That was the best sequence they could have. Let's see if it's good enough. They are going after Fanatic. Unfortunate. Now I can't kick Sowing Mycospawn second main. They are only scrying 30. So they did leave 9 cards of their deck untouched. I can generate a blocker here. 2 blockers. I can tutor Dryad Arbor. It doesn't matter because they should put Glaring Fleshraker second from the top. Yeah, they were already demonstrating the combo, so playing the Emrakul doesn't actually matter. I could have played it second. No, I couldn't. It came out of the fight rigging. So I was locked in on all of those timings. I could have played Sowing Mycospawn pre-combat, is the one thing I could have done differently. Or I could have discipled to draw 7 and try to get my way out of this. Yeah, they could even scry this so the other 3 Kozilek's commands, or the other 2 Kozilek's commands, one's been used, are on top of the deck. And also exile Trudge. And then also make all the spawns. And they can't have a good spell in their hand when I get to their turn. That's what they need to dodge here. Okay, 3 top, 27 bottom. And I'll cast Mycospawn and tutor Dryad Arbor, probably. Just trying to make some blockers in case limping over the finish line was the plan. All right, Eldrazi Temple, and... Oh, you did it wrong. Great. I think they might have forgotten that they get to draw a card. All right, well, I'll exile Basking Broodscale, and that should be that. All right, so... What is going on? Why? Oh, did I passed priority. Okay, luckily it doesn't matter. Okay. Awkward. All right, they said, yeah, they're just learning the deck, but if they had gone land, Kozilek's Command under that, they win this game. Awesome. Okay. Okay, my opponent did make a mistake at the end, but we take trophies where they come. I may have also made mistakes that match that led to that point. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not confident I sideboarded correctly even once throughout the entire league. And I 5-0'd on the first try. This deck is very powerful. As we saw in that final round, there's multiple Kozilek's Command decks out there that are all really good. This is a powerful place to be. This is a full-ass legacy engine in Ugin's Labyrinth, Eldrazi Temple, Soul Lands, fast combos, a redundant, like, powerful backup plan. Like, if your backup plan is old school mono green Tron's plan A, this deck's probably really good. And that's just the Modern Horizons 3 effect on this format. I'm not going to give any notes to the deck because I didn't go 9-1 at the Pro Tour with it. I did go 5-0 in this league with it. It seems great. If I decide to go down to Baltimore, which I'm not qualified for the RC. I didn't play in any RCQs this season, but I might go down and try to grind in. This will be on my list of considerations. and I'll try to find some resources to know how to actually map out my plan against all the decks rather than just guessing and ignoring most of the sideboard cards throughout the league. I'm going to leave this one here. This was crazy. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time.